Bonjour, everyone. Hi. Welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable with me, your host, Neshi Lokotz. I wanted to share with you that what the Spiritual Roundtable is all about, because some people are now just joining us, just finding us, which is great. But what this show is all about is our community here at Star Nations. It's a chance for us to be able to hang out together and have a spiritual conversation. And that conversation is all around the divination cards that I draw in the morning. And I've been doing that for a really long time, like a couple decades. But it has been just a little over a year that we've been doing this nearly daily live stream. Spiritual Roundtable is on Sunday through Thursday, right, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And so that is why we're together today. And I have to tell you that this show and this time of day is one of my favorite times of the day, because we get to spend some time together and have a spiritual conversation. And let me tell you, some of those conversations are really, really good. So one of the things I'm going to do right away before I get too far down the road and getting into the cards themselves is that I'm going to send our live stream over to my newsfeed. And I would suggest or invite you to do the same thing, whether it's your news feed or maybe you're sharing it with a friend, right? Oops, I said that S word. And I thought I was doing so well. Here we are. Okay. So I'm 11 and I'm sending it over to my news feed. And this is just to remind my friends that I'm live streaming. And then asking them to come out and play. And joining us in the live chat. There we go. We'll do that. Here we go. Now, I'm thinking I should probably send it over to one of the closed groups because I don't know if Stephanie is going to be in the house today. Okay, so I'm going to send it over to our closed group that's connected to the main fan page, or one of them, I should say. Okay, so and let the peeps know that I'm live streaming. And asking them to please join us. Okay. And we need to go to, oops. Oh, man. Oh, there it is. I thought, oh, no, it's not going to let me do it. Oh, there it goes. I just had to tap just a little bit harder. There. Good. It's good to go. There. Let's see who's in the chat. Oh my goodness, Jen is here. Good morning, Jen. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. And Marie's with us too. Hello, Marie. I'm so glad you got the chance to be able to join us today. And Rob's here too. Hello, Rob. It's always good to have you here. You'll be fine. Facebook doesn't care. Well, I don't know. I think they care about some things. Some things. I know that they change things around a lot. And just when we think that we get our balance and our feet underneath us and we start, taking off on some really good traction, they change something. I think they do that on purpose. So today, I have to tell you, first of all, is that the weather here is fantastic. It is sunny. We've got a few puffy clouds, but for the most part, it's sunny and it's about 73 degrees, light breeze. It's a perfect day here in northwestern Wisconsin. It was actually kind of cool this morning to the point where I actually wore jeans this morning. Yeah. I don't know. We're supposed to be getting heated up again toward the end of the week, and so anyway, I was enjoying today. One of the things that I did this morning that was definitely fun is that I produced Polly Joe's show, Chakra Sessions, this morning, and so I was able to sit in on all the good information she shared about the essential oils and the crystals. Wasn't that good? It's good to have her back too. She's been having a hard time of it this year with her health, but she's doing good. She's doing much better. Thank goodness, right? All right, so welcome to everybody in the live chat. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And for those who will be watching this in the recorded version, thank you too, because I know what it takes to be able to free up some of your time, to be able to watch a show, to be here with us, even in the recorded version, right? Yeah, because I do that too. I get really busy during the day and I end up listening to some of the replays of our shows here at Star Nations in the evening, usually between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock is when I have a chance to sit down and just kind of focus a little bit on something else. Yeah. Did you know that we have 14 shows on Star Nations? I know, and all spiritually based topics. 14 shows. All month long, right? We have a total of 14. It's amazing. And we, out of those 14 shows, we have 10 live stream show hosts. And so, there's something for everybody, really, right? I know some of the people who are in the live chat, they come to almost all of the other shows. And so we do appreciate that. So the deck that we're using this month is this one, Shaman Wisdom Cards by Laida Richardson. It's copyrighted 1998. Yeah. And I have to tell you that this deck, the images are very simple and the messages on the cards are very simple, but it really does pack quite a punch, doesn't it, guys? We've had some really interesting conversations based on these cards, and we just started using them, I think about a week ago, something like that, week and a half ago. Yeah, and today's no different. In fact, if you haven't done your grounding today, you might want to pause a moment and do your grounding and your centering. Yeah, because I think that the information that's coming through the cards today, you want to be able to take it in as much as possible, optimally for you, right? And the best way to do that is when we're grounded and we're centered. So if it takes just a moment, you can do that, all right? And while you're doing that, I'll check the chat room. Rob is saying, have yet to find what that is. I know what they really care about. Well, yeah, there's some stuff out there. I'm a part of a few groups that masterminds and Be Live and that sort of thing. And we have to keep track of Facebook in order to be on the, so the learning curve isn't so steep, right? And there's some things out there. It's like, holy smokes, $5 billion fine? Holy man. And they paid it. Yeah. So anyway, I'm sure they care about some things. I'm just sure not know what that is either. Oh, Jocelyn's here. Hi, Jocelyn. It's good to have you here. It's always good to see you in the house. And Rochelle's here too. She goes, hello, Rochelle. My son, Eric, was able to get the MagCloud app on my phone. Yay! And I bet you anything he had it there like that, right? Like nothing to it. I'm so glad for you. I'm happy for you. So now you're able to read the magazine on your phone. It's good stuff. Yeah, I was practicing with some things from our partners at MagCloud. I was using, it's a Android tablet that we have for the house. I know my house has its own tablet. That's because we use it with Netflix and the smart TV. So anyway, I was just kind of poking around and being on the other side, the receiving side of our partners at MagCloud, and what it's like to be able to not just get the print copy magazine, but also to download the digital, right? And oh my God, it was so easy. I think the hardest thing was to get up and get my credit card to be able to pay for it. $2.99 for the digital, and that's the PDF and the web viewer. And that means that you can read it on any one of your devices as long as you have Meg Cloud's app. Yeah, it was pretty simple. We're going to have to do a little recording around that, I think, to help you guys kind of find your way through that. Okay, so let's get started with the cards. I'm going to turn off the crawler thing. Turn that off. And put my name up onto the side. There we go. All right, so here's the first card for today. And I had to smile because it brought back some really good memories. Okay, so the first card that came today is Redwood. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus. There we go. Redwood. And it's number 46 in the card deck, which is a 10, and that's a 1. So it's all about the creator. Right? Redwood carries feminine energy of the north, Mars, the planet, and Earth. Redwood. Yeah, I tell you what, redwoods and sequoias, right? They're massively huge. Massively huge. I don't know, anybody in the live chat, anybody who has been to the redwood forests and or the sequoias in California and Oregon and the state of Washington? If you ever have, let me know. Just, let me know, redwoods or sequoia, because there's nothing like standing next to them, or even in your approach up to them, because you can feel their energy from miles away. But even when you're just standing next to them, you know how around here, right? We're hugging oak trees and large white pines and that sort of thing. And their energy is big too, but these are like massive, massive energy. Oh, Donna's here too. Hi, Donna. It's good to see you. I love your profile. What a cute little kitty. Rochelle says, took Eric 45 seconds to get that app. Did you time him? Stopwatch. Yeah, doesn't it though, Donna? I thought the same thing, that it looked like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. I think it's supposed to be like a branch of it, but redwood. I've been to California a few times and to the state of Washington a couple times too. And to be in the redwood forest, massive. I can't tell you. If you've never experienced it, put it on your wish list to go, because there's nothing like it. Now, many of them have been through forest fires, right? And a lot of them have survived because they're so big. But a lot of times they'll have parts of their base missing, and you wonder how can they even be alive, but they are. And you can literally go inside and stand inside of them. Yeah. I was in a class with one of my then teachers, and she took us to the redwoods, and we went in quiet, right? No talking. I know it's kind of hard for some people, but there was no talking while we were there. And it was a very intense experience, one I'll never forget. And all I have to do is close my eyes and think of them, right? Remember them in my heart, and I'm right there with them. And if you ever want to do that with your grounding, that is, it's pretty intense. Big energy, big medicine energy. All right. Okay, Rochelle, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. And Jocelyn says, the redwoods in California, Oregon were amazing. Yes, they are. And to have that connection to them, right, is the only word that comes to me is phenomenal. it is phenomenal energy. Yeah, they're so big, right? And many trees, are communicators, right? And they, in their branches, they both send and receive information from the universe, right? And so they're broadcasters, some of them, in a way. And so sometimes you can ask them, if that's what they do. But if you ever have a chance to actually, if you can see or sense that kind of energy, it's really something to write in your journal about, because they really are global communicators. And the sequoias are really like universal communicators. Huge antennas, huge. Let's see. Rob Kendall says email security sucks. Don't ask. Well, it is still MR, number one. Number two, yeah, that email is, I know. I'm not going to talk about it. We'll talk about the redwoods. Jen says, I've been to California twice, though never got the chance, unfortunately, to see the redwood forest. Yeah, well, if you ever get a chance again, Jen, is to head north in California and go to one of the national forests. And oh my goodness, put it on your wish list. Talk to your spiritual team about it and say, I would like to have that experience, and go visit those giant trees. Definitely, Marie, definitely on the list. Now, I haven't been back there in years, but once you've been, you still have that connection to them. Allergies. I didn't take my medication, so I can feel it. My voice is a little raspy today. All right, so here is what the author has to say about redwoods. Okay. I am Redwood. I am the majestic grandmother spirit of the forests. Through my roots, you will come to understand that trivial friendships can become profound relationships. I am unending. I am lasting truth that aims you toward the ultimate wisdom and knowledge you are seeking. I extend your awareness of the universal experience. Consider the eminence you are placing on yourself by restricting your upward growth. I am of age. You must also come of age. Grow up and face that which is on your path. Grow up and face that which is on your path. It's nothing like an elder just kind of giving you the what for, right? Well, why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your life? Face it and move through it, right? Yeah. And with redwood energy, if you can connect to it, tap into it, it will ground you like nothing else will. Huge energy. Right. And the other thing that jumped out at me in what the author connected with redwood about is that I am the majestic grandmother forest of a spirit of the forest. Right? Through my roots, you will come to understand that trivial friendships can become profound relationships. I had to sit with that one for a little bit, because so many times, through acquaintances, right? A lot of times we don't spend too much time on those kind of relationships, right? They're the ones that we just kind of say, hi, how you doing? And you keep walking. You don't even wait for their comment. Yeah, but then there's some relationships, some friendships that are a little bit more than that, right? A little bit more than that. And sometimes if we spend a little time nurturing that friendship, that we can actually end up in a relationship. And we do that right here at Star Nations. I don't know if you guys noticed this, right? Is because we spend time with you through the live streams, right? Which we have been doing that connection since we started with the internet radio at Blog Talk, and which was good. It was good. But having the live streams and being able to connect to you in this way moved our friendship, our relationship up a notch, right? Where we actually share more about our lives, and we share our knowledge and intuition about the conversation that we're having, right? And so the Redwood, I would like to think and feel that Redwood is confirming, validating that we, if you put your attention on it, your focus on it, that we can broaden a friendship into a relationship, even though we might be living thousands of miles apart, right? And that we can have a thriving, loving community, even though we may have many different beliefs and many different ways of expressing those beliefs. The underlying that's in our roots is unconditional love, and that we recognize and know in our hearts that we're spirits having a physical experience, right? And that we can assist each other with that, right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking about today. So Redwood, and their root systems go really, really deep, and they go for a really long distance because they're such a big tree, right? Their root system has to be able to carry their height and their width so that they're stable. And so they go really far into Grandmother Earth. They're really deep roots. The other piece was that I am lasting truth that aims you toward the ultimate wisdom and knowledge you are seeking. I am lasting truth that aims you toward the ultimate wisdom and knowledge that you're seeking. And so if we take that, and we all know how we gain our wisdom. We gain our wisdom through our life lessons, right? Right. And so our knowledge is built on that experience, which becomes our wisdom as we start to apply it. All those things that we learned. So the Redwood, in its huge, gigantic energy field, reaches across the miles to come to us, to give us its wisdom, its spirit, right? Yeah, and in that, being that elder, because they're hundreds, if not thousands of years old. Yeah, they're telling us to, to get off our backsides and face that which is on our path. And really, especially in this vibrational field that we are residing in now, is that we really don't want to spend and spin our tires in wasting time, right? Yeah. Yikes. Okay. Rob says, I've never been to Northern California. Oh, if you ever get a chance to travel, Rob, that would be a nice place to go. Rode through once, but it was in my 20s, and it was you probably don't remember much of it. Hey, Valerie. Oh, Valerie, it's good to see you. It's good to have you here. Jen says, LOI, Grandma telling us to grow up. I know, right? you know? Yeah. In a way, it's because when we're not taking those steps, we're really, how do I want to say this? It's because we're not using our gifts in the way that we could be using them, right? And because when we do, our soul is expressed through our gifts. And so when we're not using them and we're not growing, right, we're kind of wasting that gift that was given to us. Yeah. Now, I also know that some of that we're not facing, there's some real fear that is embedded in there. So ask for some help. Ask your spiritual team. You know, if you already have a spiritual healer, is to contact them. Call a friend, right? Yeah. Whatever it is, our tree elders or the standing ones elders are telling us to get off our backsides and start moving. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Donna's agreeing with Jen. She goes spot on. Exactly. Yeah. All right. So that was Redwood. All right. So the next card is this one. Beaver Moon. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus. Come on. I thought I had that fixed, but maybe not. There we go. All right. So Beaver Moon is number 9, the 9th card in the deck. There's 65. Beaver Moon. Sagittarius, baskets, and adult. Numerology is a 9, which is about completion. Right. So here we sit. We're going to call that a basket in the middle with a deer or an elk. It looks like a deer in the image. I was wondering how come they didn't put a beaver on there. That's what I would have done. Beaver Moon. And the Beaver Moon goes from November 22nd to December 23rd, or 21st, sorry. November 22nd to December 21st. So Sagittarius, that would be me. Right? So the author writes, I am Beaver Moon. This is the moon of relationships with the same gender. Friendships can become close without being competitive or jealous. As you undertake your journey, I provide the stamina for long-distance travel. Unlimited possibilities will lead to growth in new areas of interest, such as education, philosophy, and spirituality. My nurturing will protect you from outside influences to allow you to achieve your full potential. I am the teacher. I am the teacher. So, you know, the second and third card support the information of the first card, right? And so one of the things that jumped out at me with this particular card is it talked about relationships. Relationships with the same gender. It says friendships can become close without being competitive or jealous. Yeah, because whenever competition enters the picture, that means there's a good dose of ego involved, right? Usually an out of balanced ego. And most two-leggeds, not all, but most two-leggeds are learning how to balance that ego, right? Jen is saying, yes, I pulled away from healing and meditation group after I had a car accident. I need to heal myself, being pushed in many directions to start again. Oh, okay. So maybe it's time, huh? Jocelyn says, me too. Yeah. And if you listened to Polly Joe's show earlier today, one of the things that she was talking about is how in the past, and not too distant past, our usual go-to tools to help us, whether it's balancing or grounding or just about anything really, is that it was created in a different energy field than what we are in today. And so many souls are experiencing that shift and that expansion, right? That shift into, the next dimension. And so some of our tried and true helpers may not always be able to do the job that they had done before because our frequency is different. Our vibration could be completely different than the last time we used them, right? And so you may want to consider when we're talking about like meditation or stones and crystals or oils or whatever, right? Whatever it is that you're using, is to connect with your higher self and find out if there is a new and improved way. Something that you could be using maybe differently, or maybe there's something brand new that you're not even really aware of, and asking your team to bring it to you, right? That would be able to help you in your life lessons in this new energy field, right? Yeah, because I think that that was a conversation Polly Joe and I have had on several occasions, is that we have to be flexible. We have to allow that energy flow that is in a different vibration, really, right? And so we're getting acclimated to it. And so sometimes we have to think a little bit differently. We have to feel a little bit differently about changing our perspective, right? Yeah. So Jen, I guess, what I'm trying to say is that maybe the meditation group, maybe it's a different group. Perhaps it's the same group, but maybe it's being done in a little bit different way. Or perhaps it's your next piece to do. I don't know. You might want to check in with your higher self and ask those questions, to help you discern what is it that I need? Where is it? If it's not here in my energy field right now, how do I bring it in? What am I bringing in? Right? Yeah. So we have to be expansive. Be expansive. All right. So Beaver Moon. The other thing that kind of jumped out at me with this one was, again, about the relationships, right, with the same gender. Redwood was talking about the same thing, talking about friendships that can become relationships. So maybe we're looking at how we can have a more meaningful and deeper friendship or relationship with somebody in our same gender. Right? And it's funny how they talk about competition right along with that, right? Do you believe that there's a healthy competition? Because there's that phrase, isn't it? Well, it's a healthy competition. Personally, I don't believe in competition. That if there's competition, then I'm looking to see where, and especially if I'm feeling it, where's my ego at in this? And maybe have to do an attitude adjustment. Yeah, because honestly, I really do believe that we attract like energy. And so how can there be competition if people who would come to me for a class or something like that wouldn't necessarily go to another healer or another teacher, right? And so for me, there is no competition. And we can that other teacher and we can sit down and have a really good conversation about things that we've noticed in differences in the classes and in the energy field that's been shifting and changing. And yeah, it deepens that kind of relationship, I think. I don't know. Here's another good question. How many of you have meaningful, deeper relationships with friendships with your own gender? Yeah. Mine has shifted over the years, because I have 4 brothers. I was the only girl, and so it was very easy for me to sit and talk to guys. Why? Because that was my life. I knew more about baseball and football and basketball than I did about anything else. Hunting, cars. And so it was easy for me to sit down and talk to to guys, the other gender. It wasn't so easy for me to sit down and talk to a bunch of girls. And that lasted for a really long time because I don't have kids either. And so, being a part of a conversation where it was primarily about their children. I mean, like their children, cute kids, but I couldn't carry my end of the conversation. And so I would wander out to where the guys were and sit in their conversation. So it took me a long time to be able to have a deeper, meaningful relationship with other women. And I have to say, now it's the flip side. Because I have my 5 sisters, and we're pretty dang close, and we all live in. Well, I think Sharon, she's moved to Wisconsin, so she's the closest one to me, and so is Teresa is in Wisconsin. So, but we have some miles between us, and yeah, but so that has changed. It's changed. So I'm just wondering, because I look at my husband, and he doesn't have a whole lot of close guy friends. Here, Jen is saying, absolutely. And if you feel you have something to share, it's time to stop looking for validation through what others are doing. And as, like you said, the energies are shifting as our ways and how we connect. So trusting in your own knowing. Exactly. Feeling that connection that, when you're connecting to your higher self, right? Consciously asking for that discernment. Checking in with yourself, really. And then once you understand that piece, then you're talking to your spiritual team and saying, okay, so this is what I want to experience. I need the resources for it, right? And so please bring me the resources. And you can be very specific. I need financial resources. I need resources in childcare or parent care or pet care or whatever it is, right? Yeah. Jocelyn says, I hung with the guys more also. Yeah, and I have to say that because I did that in my teens and 20s and 30s, sometimes the other women had that jealousy because they thought I was after their guy, and I wasn't. I had my own guy, that kind of thing. And so I wasn't trusted. Other women weren't trusting me because I hung out with the guys. It's not until I actually sat down and explained a few things to them. It's like, that's what I just shared with you. It's like, I can't, or couldn't at the time. I didn't feel like I could handle my end of the conversation when all we talked about was kids, because I don't have that experience. I could ask them a gazillion questions, but that's not really a conversation. No? So thanks for sharing that, Jocelyn. So you kind of understand, that in those days, I didn't have a whole lot of female friends. Yeah. But now it's completely different. Completely different. I have more female friends than I do have male friends. Although the male friends that I do have, they're closer. They're not superficial kind of relationships, and there's not that many of them, but I don't have that many really close inner circle people either. I have probably less than 10. Yeah. So Johnson's saying, I worked with 27 men with the same with me. The women didn't trust me, even though I had nothing to do with them but work. Yeah. And there is that competition and jealousy thing, right? Yeah. Jen is saying, I was the only woman in a male workforce for many years. Women did not like me at all because apparently I was really good looking. Well, you probably were, Jen, and you probably still are. But, all of that kind of plays into it, doesn't it? And it also forms how we relate in general sometimes. I'm just thinking about, that we tend to close down parts of ourselves, right? When we're experiencing that. And now is the time to, if you haven't done it already, now is the time to be able to adjust it. Change your perspective about it, right? Yeah. And maybe take a look at the kind of relationships that you have right now with your people of your own gender. And what is that like, right? And I don't know, sometimes guys relate differently than women do, just in general. I was just thinking about my husband. He's got probably 2 or 3 guys that he's kind of close to, he has probably 2 of them at least that he could turn to and call if he needed help, right? Which is more than what he had 10 years ago. Oh my gosh. All right. So Beaver Moon is it's a Sagittarius, baskets, and adult. And so if we take a look at the energy being balanced here, right? You have the moon, which is feminine, Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, carrying more male energy. Baskets, depending on what they're made out of, they're more feminine energy. And the adult, I'm not sure about that one. The adult, the more conscious self, right? They're trying to balance out that energy between the male and the female. So, when we take a look at the Redwood and the Beaver Moon, and the information that Spirit is bringing to us between those 2 cards, there's this if you take a look at them together, right? Now, Redwood was talking to us about how we can take a look that the energy of the Redwood can help us to look at relationships that that can be moved into a deeper relationship. It's almost like their root system, right? So I get the feeling that it's more about our support system. What is your support system like? Friends and family. Do you have some people who are close to you that you can call at any time of the day or night, right? And say, I need help, or I need to talk, or even just to have fun. It doesn't have to be about some sort of trauma. It could be about fun as well, right? Yeah. Yeah, and that Redwood, that really strong elder feminine energy, very grounded, pairing up with the Beaver Moon, which has a lot of the Sagittarius fire to it, but it's also talking about the relationships. So perhaps Redwood is sharing with us so that we can take a look at our support system. What do you have in place? Because we can't do this walk, the spirit walk, by ourselves. We weren't meant to do this by ourselves. We were meant to have assistance, both in the seen and the unseen. Right? Yeah. That's the feeling I get anyway. The support system that you have in place, or that you don't have in place, that you may want to give that some thought and some feeling. And it does take some time and effort to nurture those relationships, right? Because it does take nurturing. If you don't spend any time together, or any energy going in that direction, it doesn't grow. It's not nurtured. And so you have to make some time for them. And these days, because of the internet, it can cut the distance into next to nothing. When generally speaking, we're dealing more with time zone issues than we are availability. Trying to figure it out. Trying to figure out across how many different time zones. Yeah. All right. Oh, Jason. Oh my gosh, Jason's here. Hi, Jason. Oh, it's good to have you here. What do you have to say? He says, it seems to take maturity in accepting our responsibilities to see complementary energies rather than the egoic competition. I agree. It took me a while to understand that I can't make a rainbow with just purple and appreciate our diversities and interesting differences. Yes, and even in the differences, there's not like major, huge differences. We're more similar than we are different, right? And in those minute differences, you can kind of think about them. This is how I do anyway, Jason. It's kind of like the spice in a certain meal, right? That's the only difference in some of the meals, is that how much spice or what spice is used. Yeah. And so in our relationships, in our friendships, in our support system, right? there's no room for competition, right? Not if it's based in love and respect and trust, right? Yeah, when an ego gets a little bit out of balance, it's those around you that love you that say, what are you doing? Those people who love you, right? What are you doing? Maria saying, I have a couple that get me, but feel these conversations help me more. Well, that's true. That certainly is true. And I really do enjoy being with you guys and having this kind of conversation, right? Because you're right. You can't have this kind of conversation with just anybody. But I think what Spirit is suggesting to us and is nudging us in that direction is to really take a look at our support system, right? It doesn't have to be your next door neighbor. They don't have to actually be in your town. You just have to have them available. My sisters and I, we have a monthly Skype call because we want to be able to see each other. We used to do teleconference calls. We've been doing this for 10 years. Yeah, it's been a long time. And yes, there's been growth and changes and shifting and all of that has occurred too. But we have a commitment to each other, and it's based in love. And we support each other, cheer each other on, and we also have that, some of us are a little bit more blunt than others. So sometimes I have to raise my hand and say, I'm going to try to say this as kindly as I can. And then go ahead and say what I need to say. Hi, Diane. Good to have you here too. And oh my goodness, you're from the UK? Well, hello there. We're kind of international this afternoon for sure. Although, Star Nations community, we are global. We really are. We have community members that read the magazine, listen to the shows, come to the classes from all over the world. It's kind of nice. All right, so we have one more card to go through. And that is, I gotta look at the time, this one, Maple. Number 47 in the deck, which is an 11, master number. Masculine, energies of the West, the planet Jupiter, and air. Maple. Now, I have a keen affinity for the maple tree. It's one of my favorite trees. It's so dang beautiful in the fall, right? But we also do our own honey. Honey, where'd that come from? Although we have neighbors who do that. We make our own maple syrup. So my husband taps the trees and boils it down, and we make just enough for us. It's nothing commercial or anything like that. Enough for us and maybe a few gifts. And so it's nice to be able to connect to grandmother that way, that provides, our part of our food. We do a tobacco giving ceremony before Paul taps the trees. And so we have a real connection to maple. The drum making classes that I do, we always use maple hoops because of the connection to maple. For me, it's about the sweetness of life, right? Yeah. Maple. Here's what the author has to say. She says, I am maple. My sap flows to provide sweet syrup. Give to the world what you have to offer. Let it flow. Go with the seasons. I grow to be very old. Look around you for old souls, old friends, old lovers. Circulation is how my powers make prosperity part of your path. I am sweetness. It's very interesting. The part that jumped out at me this morning when I read the information was give the world what you have to offer. Let it flow, go with the seasons. In other words, we're in divine timing if we go with the seasons, right? Kairos time, not Chronos time. Right? The Chronos is about the clock and calendars. Kairos time is about nature. And so if we're in the flow and we're giving to the world, which means that we're sharing our gifts, our soul is being expressed through those gifts, is that we're in divine timing. Does that make sense? It makes all the sense in the world to me. And with it being an 11, a master number, the 11 for me is all about mastering the physical plane. And here we are, spirits, having this physical experience. We're here to master this, to get really, really good at it, to gain as much wisdom and experience around it, right? That's what we're here to do, so we can grow and expand. Yeah. Jen is saying, strong numerology sequence 1, 9, and 11. I know, right? So Spirit is really, really wanting us to get this message. The other thing that I noticed is that, especially between these last two cards, is that we have, sorry about that, guys, my camera. Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter. There is no fire if there's no air. Air feeds fire. Right? The West is all about emotions and water. So we have the balancing here, because there's a lot of male energy here, masculine energy flowing between these two cards. But between the West and the Moon and the baskets, it's balancing it out. Right? And we're talking about the sweetness of life over here. That if we use our gifts, there's a sweetness to it. And it's just not us that's feeling it. Right? It's anybody who's within our energy field feels it. So here's one thing that we know about here is that I'm going to show you the 3 cards together, okay? And so we know that when we call to our spiritual team to come in, the whole team, your whole team to come to you, to assist you, to help you to take in as much of the information, spiritual information that these cards are offering to us in both the seen and unseen energy field, right? Okay. And taking a big deep breath in, and as you're exhaling is really to take in the information. Okay. So calling your guides to you, your spiritual team, your whole team. Your whole team. Taking in the optimal amount of the information just for you, to assist you taking in the elder energy of the Redwood and telling us to get moving, to face what we need to face, and to really touch on those relationships that can turn into a deeper friendship that can turn into a deeper relationship. We're being asked to really take a look at our support system. Who's in your inner circle? Who's there to be able to help you, assist you when you need help? And who's there to have fun with, to laugh, to feel joy? Because it really does feed, nurture each other. Okay. Okay. Wow. It's a good one. I like it. I like it a lot. We're at the top of the hour already. I wanted to thank you guys for being with me today. I appreciate it. And to be a part of the conversation, is to add your feelings and your thoughts to the conversation, makes it rich and makes it deep and makes it so much more spiritual, right? Rather than superficial. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time doing superficial conversations. I'd rather just be quiet. Yeah, top of the cards say now. Oh, they do, don't they? Can kind of see it that way. All right, I'm going to show it again so you guys can see what she's talking about. She's talking about the very tops of the cards where the V's and right up here is now. Yeah, do it now. All right, so anything and everything that resonated with you today in the conversation, my suggestion is to embrace it, and then watch, sense, feel, or see how today's energy is unfolding for you and where this information could be helpful, right? Yeah, and if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's okay. No worries. There's always tomorrow's cards, and that might be something for you, okay? Or perhaps you're the messenger. You're the messenger, and maybe you know somebody who has been looking for this information, or maybe they're looking for a community where they can have this kind of spiritual conversation. And all you have to do is share the recorded show with them, the link, and then you're done. You're the messenger. All right. So one of the things I wanted to share with you guys, I usually talk about the shows that are coming up. But today what I'd like to do is share with you is about a couple of the classes that are coming up. Star Nations, one of the things that we're working on right now, and that is to offer online classes. I know you guys have been asking for it for like a year and a half, and this is the quickest I could get it done. And so between Julie Shumway and I, and also Stephanie, we are working on this so that we can bring it to you starting in the fall. The first class will be in September, and I'll be teaching that class. It's all about sacred sound. And so you'll get more information about that in probably in the next week or two. Gotta have it, right? And so, is it September? No, I'm sorry, it's October. We'll have that first class in October. And kind of thinking, oh my God, I don't have that many weeks to get this done. No, that first class is in October. But you'll be hearing more about that in the next couple of weeks. And so we can tell you all about it in detail. But I wanted to let you know that it is in the works and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We have, out of the 10 show hosts and the 15 total contributing writers, we almost all of them are spiritual teachers, and so they'll be offering classes through the Star Nations Academy online, and we're still having physical classes here too. Right here at Star Nations Academy, where I'm sitting, we'll also have in-person classes as well, because there's some classes you just can't do online. You just can't. Those healing retreat kind of weekends, yeah, they have to happen in person. And so some of the more, I don't want to call it advanced, because that's not the right word. The more rich and deeper intensives has to happen in person. And so what we're doing is we're building to that, right? So we offer free mini classes every month through the Star Nations Academy closed group, so that you get to meet some of the teachers, and we are teaching introductory kind of 1 hour kind of things for you guys. And many of you have suggested topics for us. Thank you so much. And then we go from that to the online classes, and then from the online classes to in person, right? So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I can't wait. Can't wait. All right. I just want to do one last sweep through the chat so I didn't forget anybody. Jen is saying, tap into deep-rooted knowledge, walk in your divine path, take action, and 11 totally supports, magnifies that which is of the divine creation. It's all there. No fear, no competition. Thank you, Neshi. Thank you, Jen. I love that when you pull it together that way. And Marie is saying, thank you. You're very welcome, Marie. And Jen is saying, sacred sound workshop sounds interesting. I know. We're going to be talking about a few things. All right. With that, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and hopefully you'll see me this evening on my weekly show at 8 p.m. That's Communications from Home. We're doing the Unity Breath Meditation tonight. One of my favorites. And then tomorrow, 3 p.m., hopefully you guys will be back here for the Spiritual Roundtable with me. All right. So enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and Bama Mina. That's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.